Okay, in this latest video on our 3D printing tutorial, we're going to talk about how to change filaments in and out of a 3D printer, as well as the issue of clogged printer nozzles. So first you see this little piece of plastic I have. It's clearly like deformed. This is something you want to avoid because once your filament gets deformed like that inside the printer nozzle, it's likely to jam it, and once you're clog it. Once you're clogged, it's not going to print right. So as Anthony was telling me earlier, the primary cause for clogged printer nozzles is because we just aren't using the right settings. So if you refer to our earlier video about how to print via USB and what kind of materials to use, that'll show you how to make it unlikely that you would ever clog a 3D printer nozzle. But here we're going to show you at least how you would take out or clear a clogged nozzle, and then we'll show you how to put in and remove a filament.
So in the event of a clog, let's say this was down here, it's clogged now, won't come out. All you do is you just loosen up these two screws right here, get them loose enough to where it's nice and free, and then once you're there, you're going to want to go in, you're going to want to go to, just click in on this button, go down to change filament.
Yep.
And you're just going to want to preheat PLA. And then you just let it do its thing for a second.
And that's to warm it up so that it'll come out more easily?
Yeah. It's also going to get centered right here. But it's heating right now. So this is also what you would do for just a regular filament change if there was just filament in here
that you wanted to take out.
Yeah,
and
except you just wouldn't have to loosen these.
Okay, but you can still, right?
Yeah, you can still do it.
It's probably just best practice to loosen it.
No, because this acts as a guide straight into it. So
okay.
This is like if you're trying to get out a clog.
That's
the only purpose of loosening this.
Okay.
So you wait for it to heat, it heats, and then it'll start going in a second, where it'll start back feeding.
Like pushing it out?
Yeah, and then from there, you're either going to want to use your hands or a set of pliers. I honestly feel like pliers is way better because then you can just do this and grip it way better.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just take it, once it's heated, you just take it and rip it out of there.
Yeah, you can just demonstrate for us what you do.
If it's really stuck, like it's not coming at all, what you'll have to do is you'll have to take this screw out here, and you're going to have to disassemble the whole thing. It's mainly just look for these little black screws, and you just take all these out basically until
you get to the filament. We're going to try and avoid that scenario.
Yeah, but obviously all you do is while it's back feeding, just yank it out, and there you go. Your clog is unclogged if you had it.
Yeah,
clogged.
or your filament is out. So then it's probably very close to the reverse of that to load filament into it.
Yeah. So now what you want to do is you want to retighten these screws because they act as your guide. Make sure they're nice and tight. Good enough. Okay. Another thing that's very, very common and a big mistake is most people will take this and they'll set it in right here. Don't do this. Here's the reason why. While this is moving around, it is very easy because you're putting your filament in like this for it to just snap. So if it just snaps off, that's also how we get really bad clogs and you have to disassemble the whole printer because you can't get a hand on it.
Yeah.
So you gotta take the whole thing apart. So don't do that. Just let it sit like this.
Okay.
So next is obviously just insert the filament and continue. So you just take it, you start guiding it.
And was there a button that you just selected on that?
All you do is you just push the button and it'll continue onto the filament.
Did it say like feed filament, or what did it say on there?
It said press button when ready for filament insert.
Oh, okay. And it looks like you're just putting a little bit of light pressure downward as it's feeding, so it actually
Not really
catches.
light pressure, but pressure.
Oh, okay.
Takes a lot of force to get it in there.
And that wheel's trying to help you as best it can.
Yeah. Now it's purging. So if you notice, at some point the filament will start to come out of the nozzle. And that's basically trying to clear the other filament that you had in it out of the nozzle, if there's any left over. So if you're going from like black to white, you're definitely going to want to purge it. So obviously nothing else came out yet, so you just scroll down and hit purge more.
Okay.
Then you just keep feeding it. Till you start to see some filament come out. You just keep purging
Until you get something.
until you get there.
Oh, there it comes.
Yep. And see how it's like that weird color?
Yeah, I can see that it was something else that you had in
I'm
there
really
before.
hoping this rubber stuff didn't clog it and we're gonna have to take it apart. Because the afternoon was using the rubber filament.
Correct.
I think it's fine. It's just gonna take a lot of purging.
Yeah. It's kind of fun to watch, really.
Yeah. Just keep purging. There we go. Now it's
Okay,
coming
so
out
now we're
right.
starting to see the white filament that we're feeding into it.
And probably one more purge. Call it good.
Yeah, just really make sure that it's fully cleaned out.
Just want to wish you guys a happy long weekend before you get out of here.
Thanks, Dr. Dirk. Same to you. Temporarily.
Alright. So now just don't be a butthead and just leave that there. Take this and then throw it away. And all you do is you click filament, end filament change, and there you go. Now it's going to go off and it's going to level itself, make sure there's nothing on the nozzle.
And then we're ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we have it, folks.